I live in Fredericksburg, Virginia. I am a certified clinical nutritionist, a blood chemistry analyst, and a personal trainer. I have a private practice called Lifestyle Fitness Nutrition for the past 35 years. I happened to go to get adjusted at my chiropractor, and there's a gal that was coming in from Italy for 3 months out of the year. She lives in the States and then goes back to Italy. And she happened to be there, and she was sharing about the patches. My story is a little bit different than some of the others that I've heard, such amazing testimonies. And I am working with people who are experiencing much of what I'm hearing on these testimonies. But mine's a little bit different in that I have enjoyed good health because of what I do, my knowledge base, and all the other things that are in my life. I really didn't have any complaints, but I'm always listening, always wanting to know what the next tool is that I can tap into and how I can increase my level of optimal wellness. And so Dawn introduced me to them, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was a very serendipitous. The timing of those patches was, I don't know if it's the grace of God or what, but I started on the patches at the end of July. And we found out that my daughter, who had premature twin boys, that her husband was being deployed for 6 months. And we opened our home to her to come back in and live with us. And of course, my husband and I, 64, 65, we're living the good life. We just put in a pool. We were enjoying our schedule, the coming and the going, all the responsibility to do dinner, not do dinner. I mean, that was just out the window. And I mean, within 2 weeks of starting the patches, we went from that to this incredibly regimented hour by hour schedule with these 2 premature twin boys who had some eating difficulties. They not sleeping through the night. Took the sleeping schedule. We were sometimes up at 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes I was up at 2 a.m. Sometimes I was up at 4 a.m. We did this for months. And the impact that could have had on our health. I know what the impact could have been, because I see people across my desk every week that have some traumatic change in their life, whether it's losing someone or a significant change at this age. It can be quite impactful on your health. Instead of me gaining weight and losing my immunity and feeling overwhelmed, instead, I was able to roll with it. I stayed grounded. I had a sense of well-being. I had good energy during the day. Let me tell you, at 8 o'clock at night, lights out. I was done because I was back up at 4 a.m. But it sustained me. I did what Dawn told me to do. I put the patches on every day, got up, did my deal, went to bed, and did it again. And this happened for 6 months. I did not do any research beyond what I initially did. I didn't listen to any podcasts. I am now, in the past month and a half, since they moved out, I've been finding things from Jenny Singhal, who's amazing and sending me all kinds of stuff. I'm finding things that she sent me back in August that I'm just listening to now. I've been sharing the information with so many others because I see what the needs are. So it's been a really, for us, it was a joyous ride. It was a wild and exhausting ride. And now when I look back, I realize that these patches have just made it all possible. And I didn't even know it at the time. So fast forward to February, I get my labs done every year. As a clinical nutritionist, I take care of myself the same way I recommend my patients do. And all my life, I have dealt with a low platelet disorder. In fact, when I was pregnant with the daughter who came to live with us, I had to go see an oncologist, hematologist, because they thought I had some form of malignancy in my pregnancy. My platelets had dropped below 100. And for those of you in the healthcare field or knowledgeable about blood chemistry, you know that's pretty low. So I have spent my years as a nutritionist and as an adult trying to keep that level up because it's so important for our immunity. And I've been able to get it to 138, 140. but that's about it. And I have hard copies of all these labs, since the early 2000s tracking these numbers. So I go for my annual labs and they come back and I just was gobsmacked. Absolutely just slayed because my platelets were 166 as opposed to, 100, 111, 112. And there was just no other reason for these to be increased like that. So right away, I thought, wow, I knew these were doing good things in my body, but to see it in black and white and in the labs, also my red blood count, my red blood cells were way more robust. I tend to be on the anemic side, not anymore. And my vitamin D, last year in 2023, my vitamin D was in the 90s. And so I backed way off on my 10,000 IUs a day, which I was taking to try to stay healthy with all of the things going on in the world. And I had backed it down to 1,000 IUs a day. And my vitamin D level was higher in 2024 than it was in 2023. So obviously there were things happening inside of me. I was feeling the manifestation on the outside, in terms of my energy and keeping up with things, good recovery from my workouts. I'm a personal trainer. I spend 2-3 hours a day in the gym with my clients working out. And at this age, you have got to get good recovery or you can't get up and do that again.